Well, we finally get our press conference with Fletcher Cox today, and Fletcher Cox is pretty excited about this defensive line. Says that it could be one of the deepest in the league, and very excited to pretty much work next to Javon Hargrave, the newly acquired defensive tackle that we signed this year. Talked about Malik Jackson not really getting the reps with him, only playing a half game. Malik Jackson ended up getting hurt. Was hurt the whole entire year last year in 2019. Only played pretty much a half a game with Malik Jackson, but he's happy that he's still on the roster. Thinks he's definitely has a chip on his shoulder, and really going to do some good things. He's very happy about Derek Barnett coming back. Obviously, he's been training very hard in Tennessee, and Derek Barnett wants to be worth that first-round pick material. But injuries, are setting him back, unfortunately, but hopefully, he kind of turns a new leaf coming into 2020. Fletcher Cox says this whole group he's very satisfied with. He actually invited all the defensive linemen to his ranch in Texas where they all hung out, barbecued, did some workouts and did some things. They slept there for a few days, and, they want to get some time together because they really haven't had time together whatsoever. So he pretty much messaged all the guys, said, hey, come to the ranch and let's get some work in. So I'm liking the fact that a lot of these players on this team, and Fletcher Cox has always kind of been like that, inviting everybody over, positional groups and just hanging out and building that chemistry and just that camaraderie with each other and building friendships and just getting together and just having a good time and just, before anything, training camp really starts with the pads coming on in a couple weeks. So Fletcher Cox is really big on that. And it's really important for him and the rest of the guys to get together, get to know each other, and get ready to battle with each other in 2020. Fletcher Cox talked about pretty much just getting better every day. We pretty much could all think that Fletch really doesn't need to get better at anything, but Fletcher Cox is always watching tape of himself, and has been doing that and has been seeing some of his weaknesses and some things he needs to get better at, and he's recognized that. So he said he just, there's some things he has to work on, but he says next year is the year for him to improve and do a lot better and eliminate some of the mistakes that he has made. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Fletcher Cox is, in my opinion, he's like the second best defensive tackle in the league. Obviously, Aaron Donald and Fletcher Cox are two different defensive tackles, but I think as a power rush defensive tackle, I think Fletcher Cox is the best in the league. Obviously, there's been some down years for Fletcher Cox, not too many, but where his numbers probably should have been a lot better. But the problem is, we've had a lot of injuries on this defensive line the past few years, and Fletch sometimes can't do it by himself every game, and you get an injury next to Fletcher Cox. That could be Malik Jackson, or anybody. When Timmy Jernigan was hurt a couple years back, it hurts because then if you have a backup third stringer that is not really doing well or can't really get a lot of attention, all the attention's on Fletcher Cox. He takes the double teams and really can't go nowhere. So I think at just defensive tackle in general, I think you're pretty deep, okay? You got Fletch, you got Javon Hargrave, a.k.a. the Grave Digger, which I didn't expect to sign in free agency at all, making the 6th highest paid defensive tackle in the league, which, trust me, I did not expect Howie Roseman to go pay a defensive tackle this year. And then, having Hassan Ridgeway on the roster, a flash in the pan last year, ended up having a foot injury, and played actually pretty damn well. And then having Malik Jackson here, and I thought Malik Jackson was going to be gone when they signed Javon Hargrave, but I have a feeling that Malik Jackson will be gone after 2020. I don't think they're going to take on his contract. I just, as a backup rotational guy, I just don't really see it happening after this year. But I'm glad he's here. I'm glad that Malik Jackson has a chip on his shoulder and he's ready to prove the league wrong. Still one of the best pass rushers in the league. So this group as a whole, it's probably one of the deepest I've ever seen. Obviously, Hassan Ridgeway is not really a fan favorite, but, he is productive when he's on the field. Does get in the backfield. He's not fast, but he's explosive off the line. He can manage double teams. And, I think this position as a whole has really improved this year, and I can't wait to see them play. So what do you guys think about Fletcher Cox and this whole entire defensive tackle group, or just the whole defensive line group in general? Obviously, we kind of been seeing, hey, maybe we add another pass rusher. We all know that Jim Schwartz might be moving Malik Jackson to defensive end if they have to for certain games, or they don't think they're getting enough production out of the defensive ends this year. Just saying, if Brandon Graham's doing good and Derek Barnett's not doing good, we're just going to have to see. Josh Sweat's a good rotational guy. Hopefully 2020, Josh Sweat could have his best season this year. I think he's progressively got better over the years. Definitely. I've seen a huge change in Josh Sweat. But as of right now, this defensive line is a whole group. I just want to know from you guys, what do you like about it so much? What players are you excited for? And just to really get after it in 2020 and how much of an impact this pass rush is going to be from pretty much going to a night and day secondary that we signed another few guys. And it's a big difference this year. I think we're more balanced out on defense. Defensive line to this secondary is fantastic. Obviously, linebacker is a big question mark. A lot of young guys, a lot of unproven, a lot of what ifs. And that safety, you're pretty deep there with Jalen Mills going there if he plays well. Rodney McLeod's got to have a better year and step up. And, Kevon Wallace is coming in as a rookie, and, he's ready to take someone's job away. So I think this defense is pretty balanced out. I think if we really figure out the linebacker position and really find a gem there, I think this defense will be complete, and not just for this year, but for years to come. So let me know what you guys think about this whole thing, just about the defensive line, this defense in general. Leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will see you guys later. Shake Squad up, fly, fly.